So when I think, maybe I'd just rather leave, and there are certain structures here that are impossible to change. When I take a bit distance from that thought and rationally think about it, I know that if I go to a different place, if I found a community, where I, put the thoughts into practice the way I know it will work better, I am actually in no illusion that the same or very similar challenges that I'm faced with right now, they will occur in those circumstances. So there is something, the insight into the character structures that are pervasive all throughout this Western capitalist patriarchal society, or the patterns of trauma defense from which people act. There is something. On one side, you can say there is something depressing about understanding how much we are caught in certain ever-recurring patterns. But there is also something that really commits you to the work, where you know that the situation that I'm in right now, in this community, the patterns that I face, especially the patterns that I face that want to make me run away, like this is the most valuable edge of learning and development. And I actually see that there is not a better place to do that work than a community that is founded on the premise that we all carry these traumatic patterns inside ourselves, and that we cannot evolve socially and spiritually and politically unless we are ready to do the hard work of examining those collective structures and transforming them among us. So that set of research framework is actually the thing that motivates me to continue working, because I know that we are dealing with patterns that in one way or the other we find everywhere in the world. It's just like in a love relationship. If you hit a point where you think you cannot continue with a partner, and then you give up, it will be harder the next time you have a new lover and you will come exactly to the same challenge. It will be harder to face it then than to actually gather the courage and the strength to go through this point in the first place. And it's really about the question, do we as collectives, as community, acknowledge the situation that we are in, and can we make a decision together to work on those collective patterns and take responsibility for the things that so far have steered us kind of unconsciously and that we have preferred to project onto others rather than to face them ourselves.